Okay. Starters, hats off to our fans. Another sellout. It was unbelievably loud. It impacted the game. Our players were loving it, and it was extremely loud out there the entire game. And we need them back here again at 11 o'clock next week because they make a huge difference for us. And can't thank our fans enough for coming out and selling this place out again. Great job by Coach Klanderman. Great job by Coach Klein and the staffs coming up with phenomenal game plans. And then our guys owning those game plans every day this week. We got better every day. Our prep was really good, and we executed at a really high level the entire game because we executed at a high level all week. And I thought when we left Texas Tech, we were becoming a little bit better football team in all phases, and it clicked tonight. And I'm super excited for our players and for our coaches and for our fans because that's a good football team. You guys know as well as I do, they're a really good team. And we were clicking on all cylinders. And to get, 587 yards and 343 yards rushing, and a lot of guys contributed. And we talked about this. When a bunch of guys love each other and they don't care who gets credit, really special things can happen. And it happened tonight.
Coach, while we were all focused on the quarterbacks, did the defense steal the show?
They did tonight. That's a really good offense that's averaging 40 points or something, but more importantly, 80 plays. You saw the tempo of how fast they were going. And we had a great plan, and those kids executed at a high level. One of the guys that does not get enough credit on defense, and he should, is Jake Clifton. We lost Romaine last week to an injury, so we said to Jake, now you got to go play a different position, and he had to play Mike backer the whole game. It's really hard to play any of our three linebacker positions, but that kid has played all three in 3 consecutive weeks. And so I thought we dominated the game up front. They're really good. That running back's a stud. We needed to get pressure on the quarterback. We did, and I thought we covered as well as we've covered all year.
Avery ran into some –
I thought we were talking about the defense.
Yeah, we were. I moved on.
You're moving on.
Avery ran into some obstacles, some pushback from the defense. Was this good for him, experience?
Yeah. And we knew that there was going to be some mistakes, but there was going to be some splash plays too. And Colin and I had a good plan all along. And being I'm on that side of the ball on defense, guys, that's really hard. That's really hard when you don't know who's coming in the game. And you can make the adjustment, and then the other guy comes in, and then you got to go back to that, and then that guy runs a series, and you make the adjustment, and you come back. Is it what we want to do all season? I don't know. I don't think so. But like last week, it worked. And like this week, it really worked because it's really hard to do what those guys do. And those two players, Avery played really well. Will Howard's our unquestioned leader on this football team, guys. And, it was hard on Will, but he is the lifeblood of our offense. And that kid is still a captain, and that kid is still a guy that hoisted a Big 12 championship trophy. And he's a dang good football player. And I love the kid because he just went back to work and said, I got to play better. And he did. He played well. Avery played well. We're going to need both of those guys as we still have a lot of football left.
Chris, what made you come to the conclusion that we want to split them right down the middle, one guy this series, one guy this series, just back and forth?
Just a hunch that we had. And I don't want to make any more of it than what it is. As far as we had some things on the card that we thought both guys could do really well. I thought Will ran the ball well the first few series, and I thought Avery threw 2 dimes to Jace Brown. And that's the thing. One can do. They both can do both. And I think some of the thought was, well, one's a thrower, one's a runner. They're both really good quarterbacks.
You mentioned Jace there. He had a heck of a game. How much of a spark can he add to this offense moving forward?
A big spark. He's been coming along. He's like one of those Austin Romaines and some of the guys that you maybe don't hear about a ton, but he's getting better and better. Keenan Garber getting better and better. But I thought Jace Brown having that speed and having that next level gear, and he made a couple of tough catches. And it's fun to see a true freshman gaining that confidence.
Coach, you talk a lot about Desmond Purnell a lot, but just wondering if you could talk about his game tonight too.
Yeah, Des is an all-conference player and one of our best football players, and has made himself a tremendous football player. And he hits people and they go backwards. And he had a big-time pick. I think he's mad. He probably could have had another pick, but. When you have bookends of Austin Moore and Des Purnell, your defense has got really good edges.
And last year against TCU, Deuce had a lot of success catching the ball out of the backfield. Was that kind of a priority going into the game, was getting the running backs involved in the passing game?
Well, we thought we had some things that we could do out of some specific formations, and when you're able to rush the football like we were, a lot of those things open up. I thought Will made a great read in getting DJ the ball one time. They cut him loose, and he got it to him quickly enough that he was able to take it for whatever, a 60-yard touchdown or something. That was big. And then I thought the emergence of Oakley, because Oak made a really good play and then had the touchdown that's called back, and the emergence of Swanee when we lost Ben were huge.
And then just talk about your offensive line. Seems like 2 games in a row where just been pretty dominant up front.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job, and we're playing 7 guys, I believe, and keeping those guys as fresh as we can. We have to be able to rush the football because it sets everything else up.
I know it's not perfect, but it seems like you're limiting the explosives a little bit more. Where have you come a long way there?
Oh, just communication more than anything. Some of our breakdowns have been communication, and I think that Coach Klanderman's doing a really good job of simplifying some things and emphasizing the communication. They've got really good offense. I thought that running back was a special player, but not giving up and being able to track him and tackle him, holding him to the 3 points at one time. The start of the second half, I knew they were going to make a run. I mean, they did last year when we were down there. And they have a great drive, and we were able to get off the field on 4th down and then take that thing about 8 minutes and eat up all the third quarter. That was a huge momentum switch, even though it was 27-3, but we got to stop when they had to score, and we took about 8 minutes and scored.
Is it fair to say teams are probably starting to realize they can't attack Keenan Garber as much in man coverage as they were earlier?
Yeah, Keenan's getting more and more confident. And, less than a year ago, he was a wideout. And so he's doing some really good things and continuing to get better.
Was this about as perfect of a split running back wise as you guys have had this season?
I'd have to ask Coach Anderson that. I just knew both guys were going to play. I knew DJ was going to get some reps, and whether it was in the passing game or run game, I knew we were going to play both guys, and we have great confidence in both guys.
Want to get your reaction to the last 2 series. Will Swanson gets a touchdown.
I know it.
And then after Mizzou last year, UCF a month ago, and now it's TCU going for that last touchdown. Right at the end of the game, your defense gets a stop.
You guys can get on Will a little bit because Will Howard, because I was so hoping that Swanee was going to get a touchdown, and I was giving Will some grief, and I said, if you short-arm that thing and that kid gets it down at the half-inch yard line, as he scored a touchdown, he goes, no, he hasn't. So we were glad that one got overturned because that was a great thing for Will Swanson. Worked his butt off for a lot of years here. And then we wanted to get a stop. And it was Des Purnell and Austin Moore on the timeouts and stuff. Come on, guys, you got to make a play. And Kendre Steiger, who's getting better as well. He's another guy that slowly starting to play a little bit more, coming off his injury last spring, made a big-time play. That was huge for us to hold those guys out. I know it.
Was watching the video board, couldn't believe they didn't call it on the field. It kind of just goes to show on this team, it's just everyone wants everyone to succeed, no matter who's doing it. They want to see someone shine. Can you just talk about the kind of mentality that team has?
Yeah, that's just a bunch of guys in the locker room that love each other, that want success, and they don't care who gets the credit for it. And Swanson's worked his tail off ever since he walked in the door here. And also he had a big-time catch on a 3rd down play, and then to be able to get that touchdown. Guys like that, people root for. Okay, thanks, everyone.